Me. Yep, I think my headphones are on. So happy Valentine's Day. What a wonderful day to be doing a live session. I know that some of you are possibly in the Zoom and that you get to see this when you are free. So say hello to me in the comments. Let me know you're there. If you have any questions, please do slam them in the comments below. And again, I'll be able to see them and get those answered for you. So today's talk is about how to maintain momentum and consistency in your weight loss journey. It's a very common one. Sorry, I'm just going to knock off this notification. There we go. It's a very common problem that we have in any journey, really, whether it be weight loss, whether it be our exercise, whether it be our food management. Good morning, Rachel. Whether it be our food management, whatever journey you're on, actually, it really doesn't matter. We have issues and we have struggles and challenges trying to maintain the consistency and momentum that we had in the beginning of our journey, right? It's something we all suffer from. What is it? I'm going to give you morning, Saz. Good morning. I'm going to give you a breakdown emotionally and psychologically what's happening to us so that you can then start to work with that. Okay? Because you need to work with the root cause of the problem, not with the superficial surface stuff. And the morning, Deborah, and the superficial surface stuff, it's not going to help. It will help you for probably 10 minutes into your journey, and then that's it. It will go. So, what is momentum and consistency? That's question number one, right? Momentum is actually why you start so well. Why do you start so well? Good question. We start so well because the goals of what it is and why we're doing it are vivid. Okay, so you've gone through, it's a cycle actually, it's part of the addiction cycle. Let's not get too hung up on the word addiction, but let's highlight the word addiction and know that it does fall under that. Good morning, Anne-Marie. So why do we start so well? What we do is we go round in this cycle, and the cycle is, right, I've had enough. I'm going to choose to do something and I'm going to do it. And everybody gets on board. Who's everybody? Good question. Everybody is the various elements of myself. Okay, whether you like it or not, you're having conversations with yourself all day, every day. The average anxious person is having 150,000 thoughts a day. 150,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. Okay, so when we are really, really hyped up and really excited and really motivated and consistent in our momentum, it's because everybody within our emotional and psychological self is on board. It means that you're in alignment. What does alignment mean? Sorry. Alignment, I pretend to be able to do two things at once. I never can. You probably know that about me now. Alignment is that everybody knows why I'm doing what I'm doing, and everybody knows what it is that we're doing, and everybody's on board with doing it. We are also focused on our future self. So everybody within ourselves is fully aware of what the future self is going to look like when I participate and do the things that we've just signed up to do. So we're all standing there going, yeah, you know what? I'm up for it. Let's do it. Now, this is why you start off so excited and well. Here's another reason. All aspects of ourself is in agreement. Yeah, and in harmony. What does this mean? It means that I've actually had conversations within me and everybody agrees that this future self that we're looking at, this is what we want. Yeah, so it's to lose weight. You've imagined what clothes you'll be wearing. You've imagined what you'll be doing. You've imagined what color that dress is, or what color that skirt is, or what color those top and nut trousers are. You've imagined the jewelry you'll be wearing. You've imagined your shoes. You've imagined what your hair's going to look like. You've imagined the sun out and you feeling flipping great. And that's what you've imagined. So everybody is so excited and in so much harmony about this future self that you've imagined that everybody's on board. Now, what I'd like you to do is think of that person again because you've forgotten. But anyway, in the beginning, this is super ultra HD. It's a massive picture of you, and you're like, yeah, man, this is fantastic. I want to be, and I will be, and I know I will. I want to be that girl. I want to be feeling that way. I want to be wearing those clothes. What size are they? Whatever size you want. I want to be in that size. I want to be wearing those clothes. I want to be feeling that great. And everybody's like, yes. And we're choosing to do this. So here's number three. Point number three, I am choosing. All aspects of me is choosing. And because we're choosing, we're really comfortable with it. And so I'm super motivated and I'm super excited. And every day I'm getting up, I'm reminding myself of this future person who is like, yeah, let's do it. And so I'm really, really on board. Yeah. What else are we doing? So we're choosing, but we're also now interrupting this cycle, yeah, of instant gratification. So I'm interrupting that and I'm choosing delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is what? It's this future self I've looked at and gone, yeah. And that's what delayed gratification is when somebody is able to keep the image of what it is that I'm working towards, they're able to interrupt the cycle of this need of instant gratification, and they're able to choose delayed gratification. Why? Because I'm remembering this beautifully vivid, this beautiful ultra HD image of what I'm going to look like, of how I'm going to be feeling, and of the kinds of thoughts that I'm going to be having when I have achieved the goal that I've set. And this journey that I'm on right now is going to give me that pathway and the ability to become this person. Who is this person for you? What does she look like? How is she feeling? These things are vivid in the beginning of your journey. They're not as vivid anymore, though, are they? Especially for those of you that are a certain part into your journey. Now it's all a bit lackluster, isn't it? Now it's all a bit dull. Actually, you can't even find that girl anymore. You can't even find that woman. You don't even know what she looks like. You don't even know where she is, actually. You're like, who? Who? What woman? What is it that I'm doing this for? You see, you've forgotten. And this is when self-sabotage kicks in. This word is bandied about so much, right? Sabotage. Let's really understand what self-sabotage is. Okay? One, it's not this really, really awful, negative, scary thing. And you've got to take that connotation away from that word, because if you don't, then you'll feel guilty. You'll feel really ashamed and you'll feel completely vulnerable about this word, and you mustn't. Well, actually feel it, but embrace that vulnerability. Embrace that shame. Don't be scared of it. Don't look at it and go, oh, I'm such a bad person. No, you're not. You're a human. Yeah. And humans do things that they would prefer that they didn't do. We do them. And what we want to do is embrace that. Self-sabotage is when you don't embrace that. It keeps happening and it happens again and again and again. And this is when we start to lose momentum. And this is when we start to lose that consistency and we start to feel really, really down. Okay. Everything becomes dull. Everything becomes really difficult. Everything is so resistant. We start to feel anxious. The anxiety is what? It's fear. It's the fear of God. Not only can I not do this, but it's becoming such a struggle. You feel like you're climbing and you're having to dig your nose in and pull yourself up when it never used to be like that, did it? No. I don't remember feeling this way in the beginning. I remember actually it was so exciting and it was so easy that I was just off. And now I don't feel like that. So self-sabotage is actually when all aspects of you are no longer in harmony. Okay, the harmony was there in the beginning because everybody knew what they were working towards. Everybody was on board and we were using love to do this. We were all like, yeah, mom, so excited. Now self-sabotage is when actually everybody's in disharmony. There isn't that harmony. There isn't that alignment. So we want to start to come back and recheck it. Yeah. Disharmony comes from the fact that communication within ourselves is no longer happening. Okay, there isn't this really comfortable dialogue happening within me. And it's not only not happening, if it is happening, it's quite negative. Yeah, this real motivating dialogue, motivating statements, and self talk that I had is no longer motivating. It's now become quite detrimental. It's become negative. So you've got this voice in your head. It's quite a critical parent type of voice, and it's going, you can't do this. Look at you. Look what you did. You did that over there. You can't carry on because you always end up eating something. You always end up not doing the things you need to do. You. And then what happens is that voice, that quite negative, quite debilitating, it drags you down. That voice then impacts another part of you. And this part of you is who? It's your rebellious child. It's this angry teenage part of you who then goes, you know what? I don't care anymore. Actually, you know what? Forget it. Actually, today, you know what? Today I'm going to have this and I'll get back on track. It's going to be okay. So you can see now that one dialogue is starting to cause another dialogue. Yeah? Or it can happen the other way around. This teenage part of you who's tired, whose needs are not being met, who doesn't feel excited anymore because there isn't any motivating conversation happening anymore, she starts to go, not today. Today I can't. Come on, I can't be bothered. Not today. Look, I'll get back on track tomorrow. Look, I'm tired. Oh, look, we don't have enough time. I've got to do X, Y, and Z. So how's about I have that now, or I don't do that class now, or I can't be asked with doing X, Y, and Z, or I don't want to cook that, or I can't be bothered to go shopping, or I just leave me alone. Let me have this, and then let me carry on later on. And I promise I'll carry on. Look, we'll have this now and we'll do what we need to do later. That is a disharmony, an emotional need that's not being met. Okay? It's also the lack of healthy communication happening in there. What you need to do is start to bring this into awareness. Your self-sabotage is directly linked to the conversations happening in there. Sorry, again, I'm trying to do two things at once. Let me just clear this notification. There we go. So, self-sabotage is when all aspects of yourself are no longer in alignment. Self-sabotage is when there is disharmony happening because of the fact that nobody's in alignment. And this disharmony is happening because there is no longer a healthy dialogue. There is no longer a healthy communication happening, which there was in the beginning. Everybody knew what they were doing. Everybody knew why they were doing it. And everybody was being spurred on. They were being encouraged and they were being motivated. No longer. Now we're in this particular part of our journey. These things are no longer happening. When your emotional needs for a particular aspect of you are not being met, then you have to understand something's got to give. Self-sabotage is when that something gives. And usually that something will be the thing that is the least important in your immediate life. Okay, so in our immediate lives, as with all of us, financially, what's happening, meaning our jobs, meaning the work that we've got to do, is important. That can't go. It can't give way. So we'll go, well, that has to take the energy. That has to happen. Then our immediate duties and responsibilities within our homes, whatever that may be, whether you have children or don't have children, we have particular responsibilities that we have to undertake. That can't give, can it? No. I need to eat something, dinner needs to be there, food, whatever it might be. Whatever, for whether it be financial, whether it be your home, whether it be the other responsibilities, whether you have children or don't, it doesn't matter. We've got things we have to do. They can't give. And so what will we do? We'll go, well, that can't give, can it? So those needs and that energy has to be met. Then the list goes on. There'll be something else that has to happen, something else that has to happen, and your weight loss and your exercise and your journey for yourself will get pushed to the back of the queue. And as it gets pushed to the back of the queue, the energy that you have then starts to debilitate, right? It's less and it's less and it's less. So now what happens is when I get to my journey bit, which was at the beginning of the list before, wasn't it? When you started this journey, it was like the biggest, most important thing, and you were like, right, gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it properly. Yeah, and that's it. Nothing else is going to get in the way. So it was at the beginning of the queue, as much energy as it needed, it was given. Slowly, slowly, it started to get pushed to the back of the queue. I want you to ask yourself, what was at the back of the queue when I started, and now what's at the back of the queue? Obviously, me and my journey. What's now at the front? What am I giving lots of energy to? Is it really that important? Is it? Can I give less energy to these things? Because look, self-sabotage comes from your emotional needs not being met. You've got to start to meet them again in order for you to no longer sabotage yourself on this journey. Okay? Self-sabotage is something that you must embrace. Yes, it's going to make you feel vulnerable, and yes, it's going to make you feel ashamed. You know what? Embrace that vulnerability and embrace that shame. Hold it. Hold it and ask it, what's the matter? Talk to me. What's going on? How are you feeling? Yeah, why are you choosing the things that aren't making you happy? Self-sabotage, it doesn't make you happy, does it? No. Okay, so why are we choosing these things? How are you feeling? What's going on? Are you sad? Are you scared? Are you exhausted? Are you disappointed? Are you frustrated? Are you agitated? What are you? Talk to me. Because this is how you meet your emotional needs. We cannot expect another to come along and do it. Everybody's got their own stuff going on, okay? We really mustn't look to another relationship to meet these needs. We have to start to empower ourselves and learn to meet these needs ourselves. We also have to stop disempowering others by maybe meeting these needs for them. You mustn't get into this cycle. It's a really unhealthy cycle. And this includes your children. Learn to empower your children, not necessarily to disempower them. Yeah, and there are healthy ways to do that. That's a whole different discussion. But in order for you to have enough energy to meet your needs, you mustn't then go along and be spending lots of energy on other people's needs where it's not necessarily needed. Okay. So again, you have to start asking yourself, where is this energy going? I need to start to bring it back. Charity begins at home. I am home first. If I'm okay, then those that I really love will be okay. So again, ask yourself, where is this energy being utilized? How can I bring back some of this energy? What do I need to get back on my weight loss journey, back onto the things that are going to make me happy? Because you losing weight, you feeling good, you eating healthy, nutritious things, you doing the classes that you really, really want to do and to utilize that energy, it will make you a happier person. And when you're happy, when you are happy, those that you really love will also be happy. When you're miserable, those that you really love are not going to be happy. They are also going to be pretty, they can feel that. Even if you pretend not to be miserable, even if you push that misery deep down inside of you, they will know, and then they won't be happy. So you have to understand, if you really love someone, first make sure that you're okay. And then those that you love, I promise you, they'll be okay. Because when you're happy, I tell you what, you exude happiness. When you're happy, you have that energy. Yeah. And then you're okay for everybody around you. So again, if you really, really want to make sure that those you love are okay, then you be okay. You take that energy and start to learn to meet your needs. Become empowered. Stop disempowering yourself by giving that energy away and giving it away into places that is not necessarily needed. Okay? If everyone just said, let me make sure that I'm okay, if everyone did that, then the world overnight would be a happier place, wouldn't it? Because everybody would be looking in the mirror going, right, what do I need? What can I do to meet those needs in a healthy way? Using love, not fear. We'll get onto that in a minute. But okay, so what is self-sabotage? Self-sabotage is when every aspect within yourself is no longer aligned, when they are in disharmony as opposed to harmony, and when your emotional needs are not being met. All of that together starts to bring about self-sabotage. So How does one get back on track? Good question. It's the $1,000,000 question. It's what I'm here for. It's why you're sitting there watching, all 8 of you are watching right now, and then whoever else is watching later. Okay, so the answer to your question is what? To get back on track, I must interrupt the cycle. What's the cycle? It is the delayed gratification versus the instant gratification cycle. In order for you to do that, you have to remember what future self you had in mind when you started this journey and bring her back. Bring that picture, that image back. I've got an exercise for you to do that. So, good morning, Deborah. I've got an exercise for you. What do? Look, if you want to bring that image back, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine that you're looking in the mirror. Okay, so close your eyes, imagine you're looking in the mirror, and now what you're looking at is the person that you are currently working towards becoming. Okay, each foot you put forward, each step you take on this journey, you're getting closer and closer to that image. So now you're looking in that mirror, tell me, what does she look like? Let's start from head and go down to your toes. So what does your hair look like? What does your face look like? What shape is it? Are you smiling? And if you're smiling, then tell me, how is it that you are feeling? What thoughts are you having right now? What does your future self, what is she thinking? Yeah, is she smiling? What do her cheeks look like? What does she have on her face? Is she wearing lipstick or not? Or is she like, I am just so gorgeous, I do not need any foundation, I don't need any lipstick, I don't need anything, I am drop dead gorgeous, exactly as you see. Yeah, what are you wearing on your torso? What color is it? What are your arms doing? What is she doing looking at herself in the mirror? How happy does that make you? What image are you looking at? What clothes are you wearing? How are you standing? Yeah, are you standing sideways? Are you standing looking at you? Are you like, oh my God, you are so amazing? Yeah, what are you wearing? Trousers, a dress, a skirt? What are you wearing? Or are you naked? You might just be absolutely in your birthday suit on Valentine's Day going, oh my God, you're amazing. Oh my God, you're so gorgeous. Wow, look at you. Do you come here often? Really? Amazing. Tell me, what footwear are you wearing? What color is it? How do you feel in it? And now just turn around, take a spin, and realize that the person that you're looking at in this mirror, you can be. All you need to do is put one foot forward in that direction. And that direction is a direct pathway towards this woman that you are looking at in the mirror. You can be her in the very next moment if you just keep putting one foot forward. Now, this is what you had when you started this journey, and this is what you've forgotten. So how's about you take some time to bring this back? Imagine yourself looking in the mirror and imagine the woman that you want to be, and know that you are literally a few steps away from being that woman. And by you being able to hold that image in your mind, bright, vivid, in ultra HD, and you knowing that you can be her, oh, really not that far away into the future. And reminding yourself of that every day is how you get back that motivation. Know that you have the power to be that woman. Know that you are one step away from being that woman. Know that you are one need, emotional need, being met away from being that woman. Remember how you feel, remember what thoughts you're having, and remember how when you're walking, how you walk, each step you take, how great you feel, what are you doing, where are you, who are you hanging around with, obviously, as long as they're from the same household and it's not on lockdown hours and you're on the right tier in whatever location you're in. That's step one. Interrupt the delayed gratification cycle an instant gratification cycle by asking yourself, wait, I could skip that class. Wait, I could eat that particular ice cream. It's always ice cream. I don't know why. Or chocolate or whatever it is that, scares the crap out of you. I could eat that. Yes, I could. But wait, if I have that, what's the consequence? Wait. And again, interrupting the cycle means stop, stop, stop. I want you to stop and go, look, I can have that, but you're going to have a whole conversation with yourself. Try not to do it in public, just in case somebody wonders what's going on. But stop and interrupt that cycle. It's really important that you start to learn to do that, not just for your weight loss journey, but actually for anything. When we can bring ourselves back to the present, when we can take ourselves out of our mind, which is really not a healthy place to be because it only ever worries about tomorrow or stresses about the moment that's gone. If we can bring ourselves back into the present, you are now empowering yourself because actually now is the only moment you have. You don't have tomorrow. It doesn't exist. Yesterday, gone. I can learn from yesterday, but there's nothing else I can do with it. Picking yesterday up and slamming myself on my head is useless. I can use yesterday to learn. Of course I can. From a place of love. Okay? Not fear. And this is another thing we've got to start to learn. Using fear over love is what happens when we start to go into our cycle and we lose momentum. Okay, consistency gets lost. Why? Because now when I started my journey, I was using love. I was like, yeah, man, I can do this because I'm amazing. I am the most important person in my life. Let me go ahead and do this journey. Let me pay that money. Let me take that time. Let me do the things that I need to do. What happens is as we go onto our journey, we start to become disharmony within us. We lack that communication. And then what we do is we start to use fear. The voice in your head is telling you, God, if you don't do that, what's going to happen? Oh, you're so bad because you ate that, whatever it was yesterday. Oh, you're useless. Oh, look, you can't. Oh, look, just nasty, nasty language. Yeah. Or you have a very teenage part of you who is like, I can't be bothered. I don't want to, but I'm really hungry. But I don't want to do that class at whatever time in the morning. I'm tired. Why should I? So that's fear-based, isn't it? Where's the love? If that was your child telling you, I'm really tired, I don't want to go, I don't want to do it, how would you, with love, motivate them? Because that's what you have to do. If you use fear, fear runs out. Fear is such a highly resistant, heavy energy that it has its like period. It kind of does this and then it goes, bleh. Whoever uses fear is really not going to last very long. Yeah. And look, people use fear to lose weight. People use fear to get that job or to do whatever. And you know what? Sometimes you kind of go, all right, fine. It gets me there. But what you have to understand is there's no longevity in using fear. When you use love, love is a very, very buoyant, very light, very high vibrating energy, and it's infinite. Love is infinite. Did you know nature vibrates? That tree that I have in my garden that I'm looking at right now, it vibrates at the frequency of love. That frequency is very, very high. That tree, when I wake up tomorrow, will still be there. That tree in 100 years' time, unless one of us lot knocks it down, will still be there. That tree in a million years' time will still be there. The trees are the oldest things on this planet. Why? Because they use love. That means they have infinite energy. What we need to do is start tapping into this amazing stuff. Use love, encourage. Use love, ask. Use love, meet your emotional needs. You cannot stay on this journey without learning to empower yourself. And the only way that you can empower yourself is by meeting your emotional needs using love, not fear. Yeah. The other thing you want to do is start to become a mediator. You have to. We are all talking to ourselves every day. I told you. The average anxious person is having 150,000 thoughts a day. How about you start to take over in terms of influence? How about you start to go, listen, what is it? What is it that goes on in there? Are those thoughts helping me? Or are they actually really, really detrimental to me? are they useful and motivating me, or are they actually really demotivating? Are they so awful that it just makes me want to curl up into a ball, put the duvet over my head, and just want it to all go away? And if that's what those thoughts are doing to me, then you know what? Isn't it about time that I influence them and turn them into something that help me? Turn them into something that get me to where I want to go, rather than make me want to curl up in a fetal position and just hide until it all goes away. Well, that's just not right, is it? So let's take back some control. Let's take back our power, and let's start to learn to influence those thoughts. Become a mediator for you and your emotional self. Whether you like it or not, you are going to have agitated teenage part of you, and she will always be there. And whether you like it or not, you have a little one inside of you who is scared. Okay, she's like this little ball of magic. She is like 3 or 4 years old, and she just loves to do what 3 or 4 year olds love to do. And if you want to achieve what you want to achieve, then these two need to be on board. When you started this journey, they were on board because they were really excited. And you had such healthy, motivating language that they were like, yeah, man, we can do this. Everybody was like, yeah, yeah. The little one was like, yeah. And the teenager was like, yeah. And the adult was like, yes. And now, adult is being a bit of an asshole, actually. Sorry, mind my language. But the adult is really not helping. The little one is petrified, hiding in some corner somewhere. And the teenager is like, not interested, piss off. But that's not going to get you anywhere. And what you have to do is learn to become a mediator. You've got to start to ask each this element of you, what can I do to meet your needs so that some of my needs are met? The adult wants this. Okay, well, how's about you start to compromise and find out what the other two elements of you need, so that you can start to give them what they want, so that they will give you some of what you want. Where do you think this need, self-sabotage, this constant pull of wanting to eat something that isn't on what you've chosen to eat? It's coming from those two. So become an expert in mediation, become an expert negotiator, and what you will be able to, with yourself, and what you'll be able to do is negotiate and mediate your way to becoming the most amazing version of you that you are desperately trying to become or trying to maintain. Okay? So, reminding yourself why you're doing this. Why am I doing this? What was I thinking when I started this weight loss journey? What did I want? Why did I want it? What did this future self look like? How can I bring that back? That image needs to be as big as it was when you started. It needs to be as vivid. And those reasons, that language needs to be loud in your head. Because if it isn't, then of course everything else takes over. You've got to make yourself priority. You cannot achieve this if you are not your own number one. Empower yourself by knowing that you can meet your emotional needs. Of course you can. You're a genius. Why wouldn't you? You can meet your emotional needs. You can meet your needs. Start to meet them so that you can become the person that you know you can be. Of course you can. You're amazing. You're amazing now. Do these things and then you'll realize how amazing you are. Yeah? Finally, you've got to remind yourself, you've got to use love, okay? What happens to me when I start off really, really well and then end up in a lull, or end up feeling really down, or I end up feeling really lonely, or I end up feeling like, oh, nobody cares, or I end up feeling just debilitated, is that I am now no longer in the frequency of love. I'm actually in a very fearful place. So you've got to start to realize love, for me, not desperately seeking it outside of me, because that's not the point. Love for me is what's going to get me there. And I want to be empowered enough to give myself the love that I need so that I can achieve the things that I want to achieve, that I am not only deserving of, that I am not only worthy of, but I'm literally so amazing that I'm one step away from achieving them anyway. Go and be that, because you already are that. So just put one foot forward and know that you are that close to being and achieving and feeling and thinking all the things that you know you are meant to be. I hope, ladies, that that has helped. It's a little bit of a shorter one today, isn't it? Yes. So, how to keep momentum and how to stay consistent. 1, remind yourself of your goals. 2, the emotional aspects of yourself, their needs must be met. 3, choose. Choose. With every choice that you have, there is a consequence attached to it. If you interrupt that cycle and stop and say, yes, I could have that. If I have that, then the consequence is this. Are we all going to own that consequence? Because we have to. It's my consequence to bear. It's not someone else's. It's not someone else's fault. It's not someone else's responsibility. It's mine. And I'm going to be empowered enough and I'm going to love myself enough to know that I can take that consequence. If I don't want that consequence, then I'm going to interrupt that cycle. I'm going to choose delayed gratification over instant gratification. And you can do it as long as you interrupt that cycle. Finally, become an expert mediator. Okay, you've got to learn to talk to yourself and you've got to learn to find that healthy place that you're mediating and that you're compromising. Do all these things, and I tell you what, you'll be laughing because you'll be there where it is that you really, really want to be in no time at all. Thank you very much, ladies. As always, thank you for your good mornings. It's always nice to know you're there. I hope that that's helped. If you have any questions, by all means, come along. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Just ask me and I'll answer them. Take care. Bye.